Looking for a fun, different new shirt? Something related to the things you like? Climbing in the outdoors, perhaps philosophy? Visit our new store, The Dihedral Goods, on Etsy, and you'll find all that and much more.
I'm on! Roll!
Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Dihedral Podcast. This is Gaia, and today we have two wonderful professional ninjas and accomplished guests, American Ninja Warrior 15 and 16 and Ice Sculptor Grant Kiningham, and 2020 American Ninja Warrior Champion and 9-time National Finalist Daniel Gill. Welcome, Daniel and Grant, to the show.
Hello, hello.
Thank you so much for having us, Clara. We're glad to be with you today.
Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are friends, your colleagues, your teammates. So I was thinking, why not? Let's do something a little bit different. Why don't you introduce each other? So Daniel, how will you describe or introduce Grant and vice versa?
Okay.
Right on the spot.
Yeah, seriously. I've known Grant Kiningham for years and years now. What are we going on, like 6, 7 years now? And I mean, he went from a former student of mine while I was a ninja coach here in Houston. He went from student to friend, then he graduated high school to then like peer, and now, competitor on American Ninja Warrior alongside me, and now roommate for the last 2 years. So he has gone full circle from being a former student of mine to now a close personal friend of mine, as well as training partner for the show. So we hang out and train together on the daily, and I could not be more excited with just one, how he's been doing on the last few seasons of American Ninja Warrior, but two, for the bright future that he has ahead of him. So be watching this season of American Ninja Warrior, on next season as well. This guy is he's bringing the heat, and he's going to make his mark on this fast growing sport.
Nice. Okay, Grant, it's your turn.
Oh man, I don't know if I could top that. Let's see. Daniel Gill, superstar of American Ninja Warrior. I grew up watching him on the TV show and got the opportunity to come to Iron Sports to try the sport of American Ninja Warrior. My second time there, I got to take a class under Daniel, and that's where I met the guy I had looked up to my whole life. And from then on, wanted to train with him, wanted to follow in his footsteps because he was the best of the best. And I was like, in order to become one of the great ninjas, you got to chase the best. But Daniel works super hard and he's super determined. And one thing I always admired about him was seeing how hard he trained every time, how intentional he was with his training. Because to get on American Ninja Warrior and hit as many buzzers as this guy has, you've got to train hard. You've got to work hard. So I worked very hard to try to chase him and keep up with him. And, watching him win the show in 2020 was super cool. Um, and then watching him years and years later conquer stage 4 Mount Midoriyama and had the $1 million in his hand, then lose it, but still come out of it and have a positive turn on the event. And he's just always so positive, and encourages me. And so I think one thing is we feed off each other's energy and encourage each other every single day. And it's made us both better in the sport.
And you talk about American Ninja Warrior, you use some lingo, buzzers, etc. Could you please describe what the discipline is for those followers, those listeners who are not familiar with?
You want to take it, Grant? Or you want me to take it?
You can take it for this one.
All right, sure. So yeah, so there's a whole, vocabulary when it comes to the sport of Ninja OCR, which is like obstacle course racing. So, for starters, we've got courses. We'll have multiple courses that we'll have on any given competition. During those courses, you've got obstacles. Similarly to like climbing, when we see athletes do something well, because there's usually two different ways to get through, to progress through each obstacle. Some quickly, some more energy efficient, etc. So there's of course beta that you're trying to watch out for. And try to mimic and copy, similar to like climbing. If you see someone do something well, you think, okay, I know how my body moves and reacts. I can copy that and do the same. And then, of course, at the end of every course, there are buzzers. So that's how you stop the timer, stop the clock, and finish each course. So, of course, your goal one is to finish every course in front of you, guaranteeing that you move on to the next round. But then, in the back of your mind, you know that you are rewarded more for finishing a course quicker. So then you gotta go as fast as possible in order to determine your run order for the next round, because typically it's fastest last and then in reverse order from there. So I mean, we've got cliffhanger type obstacles, we've got lache obstacles, we've got all types of just a vocabulary to describe what we're doing. So a lache, bar lache, is basically a dyno move in rock climbing terminology, though not upwards necessarily. It's just jumping from one apparatus forward to the next one. So whether it's bars or rings or ropes, you lache across a lot of things. You've got bar traverse, just going across them. You got trampoline jumps. You've got warped walls you run up. There's all kinds of obstacles. And the kicker is that every single season that we compete, they bring in brand new obstacles, most of which are upper body related. But then there's always a few agility, balance obstacles that they add each season as well. So, of all the sports that I've ever done, I'll just speak for myself right now. Of all the sports that I've ever done, which growing up I was an athlete, baseball, basketball, roller hockey, soccer, tennis, all of those things. Ninja is the most full body, dynamic, difficult obstacle that I've ever been involved with, because part of the challenge, again, similar to rock climbing, is you'll show up at a competition and have no idea what obstacles are going to be at the course. And you'll get one walkthrough, you'll get maybe one demonstration of each individual obstacle, of one of the many ways you can get across it. And then they'll say, okay, time to go back to your waiting area. The next time you're gonna see this course, you're gonna be standing on the starting line, and it's larger than life, of course, way bigger than everything looks on TV, and it's exciting. It's the most exciting sport that I've ever been involved in. So I hope that helps kind of break down some of the terminology, some of the obstacles. And Grant mentioned earlier Mount Midoriyama, which that is the final stage of American Ninja Warrior, and it is essentially an 80-foot rope climb that you have to do, obviously in a full body harness, and you have to complete that obstacle in 30 seconds or less. And I did it in 2019, but I was 3 seconds too slow and lost $1 million by a few seconds. And then
Man.
fast forward a few years later, because that's how long it took me to get back to the final stage. In 2023, I was able to make it back there and beat it within the time frame, win $1 million. And then a friend of mine that same episode did it 3 seconds faster, and it's winner take all on this TV show. So unfortunately, there's nothing for second place other than some clout. Um, but of course, we do the sport knowing that there's always that possibility. I don't compete for money, but I know that it will come. But I compete for the love of the sport, for the platform to encourage, to inspire, to point people to the kingdom of God. It's been this really cool journey for me, for Grant, and all the other ninja athletes as we continue to compete on bigger and better levels. In fact, I'll just say right here before I pass it back is 2028 Olympic Games are guaranteed to have a form of Ninja Warrior in the sport. So there will be a 100-meter Ninja Warrior course. We're calling it obstacle discipline for the Olympics. So there's no, issue
Mhm.
with the television shows. But yes, currently it'll be a part of the modern pentathlon. So for 2028 Olympic Games in LA, there's going to be, running, swimming, fencing, sharpshooting, and instead of equestrian horseback riding, there is now going to be guaranteed a 100-meter obstacle course race. Exactly what we do, Ninja Warrior. So that's the first step, and then we're hoping by 2032, maybe even by 2028, to have its own separate individualized category under like obstacle discipline, whether it's a speed course or a technical course or an endurance based course. Again, similar to like rock climbing, you got speed climbing,
Mhm.
bouldering, and you got top roping. So there's a lot of disciplines in the sport of ninja that we are seeing just make waves and differentiate the different specialized athletes within obstacle course racing. So it was super cool. I mean, I could talk about it all day long, but I'll pass it back to you, Claire. I'm sure you've got more questions, and I know Grant and I both have a lot of thoughts we can give.
No, actually, now that you pointed that out, would you guys qualify? Or are you training, or what's your outlook in regards to the Olympics?
I'll briefly state it and then I'll pass it to Grant. So there's a few different options. There are several athletes that are specialized ninja athletes that are currently training in preparation in case we get an opportunity to try to qualify for the modern pentathlon. Now, unfortunately, there's a larger group of athletes that are already current modern pentathletes that already train in the disciplines of running, swimming, sharpshooting, and fencing, and they're just swapping out equestrian with a 100-meter OCR course. So those guys already kind of are locked in, but I've got a group, Grant and I both have a group of friends that are full-time ninja athletes that are now currently training all of these other disciplines and trying to network and find the right whether it be sponsor or the right group to connect with, because again, in any sport it's all about who you know, and it's about getting the right eyes on you to see your
Mhm.
talent and your ability and want to magnify that, right? So Grant and I are both kind of pursuing those avenues. Now for me, I'm also in a different position altogether, being a high level ninja athlete for the last 13 years, but simultaneously a high level coach. I've been coaching even longer in the sport of Ninja OCR. I've been coaching longer than I've even been competing on the show. And so I've done workshops and clinics all across the country, even in other parts of the world, to literally teach the sport of Ninja OCR. So for me, I think there's an even higher possibility of maybe not necessarily competing in the Olympics as a
That's so cool.
32, or I guess 33, 4, 5 or 6 year old man. May or may not happen. I'm open to it. I'd need a full-time sponsor. But what's a more likely scenario is me getting invited to be a coach of these current
Mhm.
modern pentathletes that are just adding in a 100-meter ninja course to their routine and their regiment. So I'm open to either one of those possibilities playing out, whether I'm an athlete or a coach. I know that I've got an avenue. So that's me. Grant, I'll let you speak to it as well, because I think you've got some friends too that are trying to get into the spotlight, trying to get prepared for the 2028 games.
Yeah, it would be super cool to get see ninja in the Olympics. It's a sport like I know as ninjas, we've always been like it'd be so cool to get to represent the country in the Olympics. I am 22, so I'm hoping that, the pentathlon sounds like a crazy, super long thing, and it's gonna be hard to train all the individual skills. I know I can do the 100-meter OCR part of it, not a problem, but as far as training all of it, it's just hard to, you know, find the time. Like Daniel said, we both have jobs and families, and so we're kind of hoping that Ninja gets its individual thing in a way, so then we can, just tackle what we already know. Um, but I am hoping by 2028, I get to practice the 100-meter part of it, and then also maybe work on my fencing and sharpshooting. Maybe I could get in it, but I'm still young enough to where I think I could potentially take a crack at it at some point. So we'll see what happens.
28 or whether 2032, Grant's got a super bright future because he's already climbing the ranks of ninja OCR athletes. And thankfully for the both of us, these 100-meter specialized courses are taking the OCR world by storm. I mean, we've got friends that travel all over the world right now to these major competitions that are specifically ninja and specifically 100-meter courses. So we've got a lot of opportunities as we, prepare for 2028. And at the moment, like you said, he and I both, still having jobs, me a family, a wife, and one almost two kids this summer. And so yeah, yeah, yeah. So life's really exciting,
Congratulations.
but we would need to find a full-time sponsor, which is what we're looking at right now, trying to, reach out to different companies, explain, what's happening with the upcoming games and how of all the extreme sports that they have, finally our sport is getting its opportunity to shine on the biggest stage on the planet in terms of sports. So we'll see how things continue to progress. And regardless, we're just training to be ready however we can. And thankfully, we do more than just specialized Ninja Warrior training. We are athletes. I mean, we run, we climb, we incorporate several other types of disciplines into our schedule on the regular anyways. So now it's just, again, a matter of timing and the right relationships. So we're very
Mhm.
hopeful and we're very excited for just how where we are right in life as athletes and the bright horizon ahead of us.
Talking about timing, relationships, exposure. Grant, you were recently in Italy, right? We were talking behind the scenes a little bit about it, but could you explain to us what you were doing there?
So I had a opportunity in the first month of this year in January to go compete on a TV show in Italy to go for a Guinness World Record. And I was so excited for the opportunity. I've competed on American Ninja Warrior now for 3 seasons, the last 3 seasons, and the first episode of that will air June 2nd. But to get the opportunity to go out of the country, I'd never been out of the country. So it was like,
Nice.
so first trip out of the country, I get to go do the sport that I love in Italy, which, specifically in Milan. So that was so cool. So the way the format worked, it was a boy and girl duo. So I called one of my friends from American Ninja Warrior and was like, hey, do you want to go to Italy and compete on the show? And she was like, 100% yes. And it wasn't 100 confirmed yet. So I did work out some of the details. But we got it worked out and flew to Italy. And so went competed in Italy, got there, didn't know what to expect. There were 20 pairs of people from all over the globe. So there was, I think,
Wow.
5 or 6 USA teams and some friends actually I knew. So it was super cool to compete with some of my friends. I met tons of people from Australia, the islands of Italy, and just all over the place. And I think that was the most fun part sometimes is just making new friends on American Ninja Warrior or on a TV show in Italy. So the first day they explained to us the course, got us in our outfits. We got to wear these shirts that with the USA flag,
Ah!
which was super cool because we were representing Team USA.
Yeah.
Um, so we ended up competing on the show. There was our episode airs in a couple of days, so we ended up go competing on the show round one. Me and Ishelle Valentino. Her actually family is the last name Valentino's from is a Italian or whatever. So they were like so excited she was on the show. So we ended up competing. The first obstacle was a giant peg maze. So you had to navigate these pegs through a maze to get to the top to clear it. And once I got the top peg in, the Guinness World Record person would blow the whistle. And then Michelle got on these two boards and did like a plank walk on the boards with her hands and feet all the way to the end. And once the board hit
Okay.
the end, I had a flying bar. So I had to hop this bar from cradle to cradle to cradle. And it was like, I think 8 moves in a row. And I think the scary part was with the rules, if you fell, you were done. So with the Guinness World Record, if you fall, you don't move on. That is it. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I miss one of these cradles, it's over. Like, so I went out there. I was able to I think I had one of the fastest times on the bar hopper and was able to get through it. And then Ishel, the final obstacle, did the spider wall uh,
Hmm.
all the way down in. So in round one, we ended up having 59-second time and we ended up moving on to the finale. So we crushed it in round one, went to the finale. 4 teams made it to the finale out of the 20. So we were one of the four.
Wow.
They did it in groups of five and then took one team from each of the group of five. But they said, hey, if all 5 teams fall, no one moves on because you got to clear
Hmm.
to go for the Guinness World Record. So we made it to the final round where there was, you know, four teams in the finale, one from each of the group of five. Two USA teams, us and some friends of ours. One, I forget where they're from, and another from Australia. So we got to run the course three more times to try to set the fastest time, which was so cool. Like our goal was to get to the finale and just get to run the course three more times because we love American Ninja Warrior and that's our favorite sport. Um, so we had the second fastest time, so we went third to last, as Daniel was explaining earlier. So the first two pairs went, and then we went and got a time of 59 seconds with an added obstacle. They added a ring slider in it. So we got the same exact time with an additional obstacle. So we got faster.
But
And
Grant, don't spoil it because it hasn't aired yet. Don't tell how the whole
Oh, you're
oh, true,
right.
true, true.
No.
you guys are gonna have to change your VPN and go watch it in Italy to
Wait,
see how he.
question. Yes, so how can you watch it? Like, how
You
can we
can-
watch it?
It's on the TV show. I can pull up the name. I currently lost
Grant
off.
should be able to send you the link as well because they should
I
send
could
it
send you the
some
link.
like
So
media package.
the
Oh,
reason
good.
I sorry, I started going into the second part. The reason I talked about first part is you're gonna drop this podcast episode like today or tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
the first episode we are on will air in 2 days. So
So over this
Okay.
weekend.
out on this weekend, yes. So excited to actually watch it because it's funny we experienced it and we had a great time, but we haven't actually seen our runs or gotten to see what it looks like.
How crazy is it for you guys to go through it first person point of view, and then looking at yourself outside, like the recordings and everything and
Yeah.
the commentators? How insane is that experience?
Yeah, I'll speak briefly on it. Like it's so wild. It's so funny too because we're athletes, right? We compete for the love of the sport. We compete for the platform that it gives us and those that we get to encourage and inspire and be literally role models to, especially when you understand that this television show American Ninja Warrior is watched by millions of people all across the globe. And I mean, over the last 15 years that I've gotten to, or 13 years, I've gotten to travel and be a part of the show, represent USA in America, in Indonesia, in let me see, Japan a few times, getting to travel all over the country or all over the world. I've been recognized all over the place. Like, oh my gosh, you're that guy from that show, and it's so cool to get to be in a position to be known, even at the small degree that we are. We're not celebrities of any kind, but those that watch the sport know who we are and have seen what we do. So for us as athletes competing each season, I mean, we've got goals, we've trained hard, we know what to do, we have a plan, we have backup plans, we've visualized all the movements, and as long as everything goes according to plan, like we'll do well and move on. But then after the fact, we have no idea what it's going to look like on television until months later, once they've edited it and finalized it. And then we watch the TV show and hope, one, that we get airtime because not everybody gets airtime. There's dozens and dozens of athletes that compete each season but aren't ever shown, which is a huge bummer because it's not never guaranteed. Two, if you get on, you hope that it's a full run. Because sometimes, like any TV show, they're trying to fit as many athletes in as possible, trying to make it look flashy and showy. So they might come back from a commercial break and say, while you were away, we had several more
Mhm.
athletes tackle this course. And you might just get like a little snippet. Or you might get where they say, hey, on the course right now is so and so. And you've got like the last bit of your run. Or then they might say, okay, on the starting line here is, and then you get a full course run. But then the pinnacle, the best thing that you can get on television is when they do a whole story package on you. And they say, hey, this next athlete has a crazy story to tell. They've gone through this, that, the other. This is what they're promoting. This is, what they're trying to bring awareness to. And so then you'll get like a 2 to 3 minute package or so, which they take interviews for hours with each of the athletes. So they always have two or three stories lined up. It's reality television, right? Just as much as it is, or unfortunately more than the competition show. But that's fine. We understand that going into it. But out of all the interviews that we take for all these different story pieces, we have no idea which ones, if any, that they're going to use for the TV show. So for us, it's really exciting as athletes to watch after the fact to say, okay, what are they going to air? Are they going to talk about this feature of my life? Are they going to talk about this? Or are they going to talk about that? And it's been really cool when they do show stuff, because it's just this 3-minute feature. And then you get to hear the commentators, because when you're running the course, you don't really hear the sideline commentators, maybe a little bit, but then it's fun to get to watch after the fact. And it's kind of like home movies where you're like, oh, I remember that was a really fun thing. And all of my nieces and nephews, they only ever refer to me based on what the television show calls me. So I've got all my nieces and nephews are like under 5 years old. And after they watch American Ninja Warrior, we'll go to family events, and my nieces and nephews are like, Daniel Gill, Daniel Gill. And I'm like, no, guys, it's Uncle Daniel. And they're like, oh no, Daniel Gill, Ninja Warrior. And it's just wild to see just the influence that the show has on the young viewers. But it's crazy and it's really fun. And granted, you can speak a little bit to your experiences competing, what it's like and what it's like to watch it as well. Because we have big viewing parties also. Invite like our whole gym out to watch when the episodes air on Monday nights during the summer. So, Grant, if you want to tack onto that, go for it.
Yeah, I'll never forget when my first run aired on TV show. He was talking about fast forward runs. My first and second season, I had a few of those to where it's like while we were away, Grant Kiningham took on the course, and they give the 30-second snippet, which for me in my first season, I could care less. Just the experience more behind what was on TV was so much fun for me, getting to run the course. So um, it's super fun and super cool, and hard to keep the secret for months and months and months, as people are like, how did you do? How did you do? And you're like, I can't say, you got to tune in. And people will be like, Grant, did you win? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch. And like he was saying, we'll do watch parties. So I have tons of students I coach at Iron Sports, the gym I train at. And what we'll do is we'll gather everyone there and be like, okay, Grant's on this episode tonight, Daniel's on this episode. Let's watch the athletes from our gym who have trained and worked so hard to fulfill their dream and get on American Ninja Warrior. So, um, this new season's going to air in June. Ninja Warrior actually just posted like a premiere about it, and that it's coming soon. So you guys can follow me on my Instagram and Daniel as well. We'll be at NBC will send us stuff, and we'll be advertising when our episode airs. And even for me with Italy, I'll be posting my runs live. So if you don't get a VPN, can't watch, you can always tune in to our Instagrams and see all the stuff we're doing. So it's definitely exciting and thrilling, and always hoping to get a full run. But even if I get the little portion runs, just the behind the scenes of getting to run the course and do these insane obstacles over water and try not to get wet is so much fun.
And we'll post your Instagrams, both of your Instagrams. So listeners, it'll be in the description so you can like go straight to their account and follow their journey. Okay, now that you mentioned this insane obstacles over the water, and we'll talk a little bit about climbing later, but this is so exciting. Is there a particular obstacle that you guys are, I wouldn't say afraid, but that you respect, that you can anticipate and you say, here I go?
Man, well, gosh, it's kind of hard because, like I said, they bring brand new obstacles every single season. So it's like you have your old nemesis in terms of like obstacles that you've either fallen on before in past seasons, which for me, a lot of it was like the cliffhanger obstacles. Because I wasn't much of a rock climber growing up. I climbed on things, but like jungle
Mhm.
gyms and monkey bars, and so I had really good like overhand like jug type of grip endurance. But then as soon as you roll back to the fingertips,
Not crimpy.
which on Ninja Warrior, yeah, like that when you get to like crimps,
Mhm.
open hand, closed hand. Ninja Warrior, they've got these ledges. So it's like you'll traverse from one side of an obstacle to another, but using just like these 1 or 2 inch ledges, like 2x4s, basically, like pieces of wood. But it's all of your body weight on just your fingertips. And I was like that when I've fallen 3 times on national television on those types of obstacles because my fingers, my forearms were just not strong enough to carry my whole body weight in a crimp position. So I've got the utmost respect and a healthy um a very healthy respect for those types of obstacles. Now, my favorite obstacles are probably more the agility based ones, the balance, and like the warped walls. I played soccer a lot growing up, and I love movement. I've got strong, fast, powerful legs, and so by the grace of God, I've never fallen on any lower body or balance based obstacle on American Ninja Warrior. So hopefully, I'm gonna keep it that way in this next season. But yeah, every single year they have brand new obstacles that take you by surprise. And if you're not very good at visualization training, which climbers really have to be, because oftentimes you don't get to touch the walls until you actually compete. So it's a very similar type of mindset that we have as Ninja OCR athletes compared to our rock climbing counterpart friends.
That's awesome. Grant, I don't know if you have a particular one.
Man, there's
It's
definitely a
like,
few, there's definitely a few obstacles on the show I very much respect. Like Daniel, so far I haven't fallen on an agility obstacle yet, but I've definitely in season 16 was very close. There was this balance obstacle called Razor's Edge, and I ran and we get to look at the course. We don't get to practice any of the obstacles, but we visualize each of our movements as best we can so we can make the proper movements on the course. So I looked at Razor's Edge. I was like, okay, I'm going to start, right, left. I can't remember exactly what it was, but right, left. I planned out my footsteps. I was like, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, off it, and I got there in my course run and stood there and was like, here we go. And I messed up my steps. I was running. I was just excited, having fun, and I just messed up my steps and how I was going to go. So I ended up taking 2 or 3 steps on each of these, and it's a board that's flat like this. And when you step on them, they start to tilt. So what
okay.
happened was I stepped on the first one, and since I had to take 2 or 3 steps, it started to tilt, because it's trying to take you to the water. So I had to do the fastest steps I've ever done in my life to twinkle toe across these 3 pieces of balance. I dove for the dismount and face planted into the dismount. Made it, didn't fall in the water, but was definitely felt like I was so close to hitting that water. Made for good TV though. The show was excited about the crazy save, but at the same time, Razor's Edge definitely has my respect.
You guaranteed your 30 seconds at least, your portion on
Yes, I
national
did.
TV. You got it for sure. Okay, so we talk about rock climbing quite a lot. For you guys, what came first? I'm guessing, Daniel, for you, Ninja OCR came first and then climbing. Like, I'm here speculating, but what was first for you? The chicken or the egg? The rock
Yeah.
climbing or Ninja OCR?
Yeah, I had climbed a few times growing up for like, friends' parties or things like that, and I always loved it. Now, what's funny is I am not colorblind, but I'm slightly color deficient. So the times that I would rock climb growing up, people are like, "Oh, wow, you're so strong, Daniel. You can't touch that. You can't grab that." And I was like, "Oh man,
This is
this is
enough.
too much for me. Like, just let me climb the stinking rocks. Like, let me do it how I want." And so then I got into American Ninja Warrior and was like, oh man, like this is awesome, but gosh, it requires so much grip strength. I need to find ways to supplement my obstacle training that's low impact but high intensity on my forearms. So after a few years of doing ninja training, then I was like, I need the benefits of climbing. So then like off and on I would climb. Now being a coach full time and a traveling athlete full time, with
And
all
a
the stuff I
father
was doing.
too.
Yeah, I didn't get a
That's
chance
awesome.
to climb as much as I wanted to on a regular basis, but in the last year, really the last like 8 months, Grant and I came to a decision and said, "Hey, we're at the point as ninja athletes, we can't really get any stronger doing what we're doing in a ninja gym. We have to broaden our horizons and start training full time as rock climbers." So for the last like 8 months, really, Grant and I will go to our local, Inspire climbing gym, and
Shout out.
yeah, big shout out to Inspire. Those guys are amazing. We made some great friends and set some new, not just records, but like we've set some new milestones as athletes there, training once or if we're in town, twice a week, and I've seen huge growth in our performance as ninja endurance athletes. And so for me, it was ninja, then climbing, but they supplement each other so
Mhm.
well with athletes that step into a ninja gym for the first time. If you have a background in climbing or perhaps parkour or gymnastics, even soccer players and swimmers have a great spatial awareness and like cardiovascular ability to do these obstacle courses, and not just one, but multiple obstacles at a time, which is really what gets most people. So climbers have a great time, athletes from other sports have a great time, and sometimes ninja is a supplement to their own sport, but for us, climbing has become a passionate supplement for our professional ninja warrior athletics.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. The thing with rock climbing, it's wild because I mean, I'm not rock climbing as much as I was rock climbing in the past, but it's crazy because if you stay disciplined to it, you see the gains pretty quickly. Like there's, well, I don't know if pretty quickly, but there's something about the resiliency of the human body that when you are disciplined, it's just carrying your own weight does a lot.
I agree. I agree. And it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it is. It's just the challenge of it. It's very cool. So you go to Inspire Rock. That's our local gym. We go there too. Yay, Inspire! What is the best part of having community? Because we've talked about your students, and how Grant was your student, and now he's your homie, essentially, your teammate, your partner in Ninja Warrior life. What are the benefits of having a strong, healthy community?
Yeah. Oh, that's I'll speak very briefly to it. I was having a conversation with a friend just a couple of days ago, and we were talking about life. We were talking about goals. We were talking about where we're at as men. And I said, hey, like one thing that I've noticed is absolutely vitally important for every single person on the planet is community, and is good community, a community that is encouraging, that is inspiring, that even like looks into you and sees the gold that's there and helps pull it out of you. And I'm also a public speaker, like a motivational speaker. And whenever I speak at schools or camps or places like that, whether it's young people or it's the high school or college or even older, I tell people that we are products of our environment, and if you show me
Mhm.
your five friends, the people that you spend the most time with, it'll reveal where you're going in life, where you're headed. And if unfortunately all we have are peers that are toxic or pulling us down, I tell my elementary and middle schoolers, like, friends are like elevators. They're going to take you one of two directions. They're either going to lift you up to the greatness that we are capable of, or they're going to drag you down because they've got their own problems in life, and misery loves company. And if I'm not doing well, I certainly don't want you to do well. And
Mhm.
we have to be aware of the people that are in our lives. And sometimes that means letting go of relationships that aren't healthy. I mean, I could talk your ear off about like just toxic relationships that are taking more than they give and not benefiting you. Not that you need to use people by any means, but you want people that bring life to you, that bring hope to you, that can help pick you up on the days that you will fall or fail, because we definitely
Mhm.
have those moments, even maybe sometimes seasons of like where you feel like you're just kind of alone, and isolation is destructive. And so one of the best things that we can do in life that I encourage people is, find something you enjoy doing, find people that you enjoy doing those things, sports or extracurriculars or other passion projects to do it with. When you find your community, man, it's life changing for us. Even my home church, because that's another one of the big communities in my life. One of the sayings that they say on a regular basis is when you find your family, you find your destiny, because none of our destinies or the fullness of what we can be is ever truly just wrapped up within ourselves. But it's in those around us. Again, the relationships, the networking. I wouldn't even be an American Ninja Warrior athlete if it weren't for one friend of mine that said, "Hey, there's this gym in Houston that trains people for this TV show. You're an athlete, Daniel. I think you might enjoy it. And that was it. That was the spark of how I got into Ninja Warrior. Everything that I'm doing right now, athletically, professionally, entrepreneurially, has all literally just been the byproduct of community, of people in my life that saw something within me that I might not have seen myself, or encouraged me with other connections that they had. Hey, Daniel, I've got this guy you need to call and check it out. And that's how it's been. Even, the community that I have right now with Grant as my roommate, my training partner. We're in an elite ninja division together, as partners. There's one other teammate that makes up our trilogy of athletes. But that just came from community, from me being a coach and having students that I was more than just the coach showing up, teaching them and then leaving. Like I developed great relationships as a role model, but then now as a peer, as my students got older. So we are products of our environment. Community is absolutely everything and vitally important to us as individuals. And when you find the right community, when you find your people, it's a very empowering type of life to live. One that I fully believe that we were always created for, which is people, which is community. So, Grant, if there's anything you want to add to it, go for it. Otherwise, I think I summed it up pretty well.
You did a good job, must I say.
I would just say the community at Inspire has been very welcoming and awesome. So the cool part for me is, and Ninja, I'm always cheering on and supporting people, and it's such a tight community. So when I started going to Inspire, when we started going to Inspire, it was so cool to see how awesome the people were around us, like just encouraging us, helping us with routes because we are ninjas, we are not rock climbers, so we're adapting and learning to the techniques of climbing because definitely for both of us, we want to rely on our upper body strength to tackle a lot of the routes. So there's been so many people who are very helpful at Inspire who are like, hey, use your feet, use your legs, or balance your weight here. And
Yeah.
so I think the biggest thing for us is we do have a lot of strength for the climbing side of it, but just learning the technique side of it's been difficult and definitely something new. And I feel like I've learned a lot of different ways to balance my body on rock walls through the help of the people at Inspire. We've made so many friends. And yeah, it's super fun training with people. And so we're going Tuesdays and Thursday nights. We kind of know the group of people there, and when we go, we'll all just tackle routes together, encourage each other, and also watch each other fall. But we get back up and we try it again. And it's been you were mentioning how fast you can progress if you say discipline in rock climbing. Me and Daniel have just seen ourselves doing leaps and bounds in it. We were starting out with V4, V5s, just working around there and, struggling with those. But now we see the purple tapes, we see the V6s, and most recently, the last session we did, we got two V7s in one night. So two blue tapes, which for
Wow.
us was a big night. So it was funny. One of the moves that right now in the garage at Inspire is a Lachey dyno. And so we showed up to the gym and all of our friends were like, they set up a route for you guys basically. So we went in there and we got the Lachey part first try, and they were all like, "Whoa!" Like we haven't even seen a
We
V10 of us
flashed
kind of get
it.
first try. Yeah, we flashed the Lachey part. We didn't. The second part of the route we did not get for a little bit, but we ended up figuring out how to take on the route and cleared it. But yeah, it's been cool to see how much stronger our grip has got and how much better our technique has got, which is applied to Ninja as well in our upper body strength.
You guys are currently, and Daniel, I think you mentioned it a little bit. You hovered over it. Is it Team Ninja Association? You guys
Yeah.
are currently competing, right?
We are. So we've had both of our qualifiers for this inaugural season. Long story short, within the world of Ninja, you've got the annual television show, which is like the pinnacle of Ninja fame, really, or just the pinnacle of even just prize money. Like everybody wants to be on the television show. But it's very difficult because out of tens of thousands of applicants every single season, they only ever select a few hundred to compete on the show. So that with that being said, there have been about 5 or 6 different leagues that have begun here in the US. Several of them, which are international. So athletes from all over the world will qualify and then fly into the States for these finals of all of these different Ninja Warrior leagues. And the newest one that just began this year in 2025 is the Team Ninja Association. And so it is unique in that it is not an individualized sport not an individualized format. This one is a team of three. So two men and one woman on each team. And there are three different courses all run together like tag team style or relay race style.
Mhm.
So athlete number one, whether that's one of the men or the female, you're going to run a speed course. So, I mean, simple movements, just technical turns and things like that. So, very doable, but you have to go as fast as possible. And then when you finish your course, you tag the teammate of the next person, and then they run a very technical course. So like or skill based, I guess is what they're calling it. So these are obstacles that are very well technical and they take a lot of skill to do. It's not something that you can just walk into a ninja gym and run a technical course because they're very tough. I mean, it would be the equivalent of climbing like a higher V grade in bouldering, where it's like it's not strength doesn't matter as much as body positioning,
Mhm.
spatial awareness, movement, and fast twitch, all of those things. So then when you finish that course, the technical course, you tag the last teammate, which will go into a grip course. So just like a grip endurance. So you never come down. Once you start, you've got about 6 or 7 obstacles in a row without ever touching the ground. And that's where you've got, your cliffhangers, your dyno movements. And if you're not prepared, you will pump out very quickly and fall. So that's the format for this new league. And what's very cool is this is the first format that's trying to get big sponsorships behind it. We have official jerseys that we wear because most other leagues and competitions, you wear your own brand. And so this one's really, really cool with, I think, the possibility of how big it can grow and how quickly at that. So we've hit both of our qualifiers. Our last one was last weekend, actually, and unfortunately, it was one of the worst comps of my personal life and ninja career. But by the grace of God, we are currently still qualified to make it to the finals next month in May. The last qualifier is this coming weekend, but our team will not be competing at it. Each team only had 2 qualifiers to go through, and of the 24 teams, you were sent to different competitions. So we finished. Now it's just a matter of how the rest of the teams do in this last weekend's competition, which will determine if we make it to the finals or not.
Okay. Wow.
So we're just training by faith, hoping that we get
Yeah.
that call to make it to the next round or to the finals. But we'll see. Regardless, this has been an incredible new addition to our already extensive schedule of different competitions. We're in about, I think Grant and I both are in about 5 or 4 different leagues right now that we're training for, qualifying for, going to different competitions. If you wanted to, you could compete every single weekend at a different ninja competition. But it depends on what can you do, what is out
Yeah.
of pocket, and what are the you know rewards versus the risks. So we try to stay balanced in what we do and try to make it just make sense for us, for me and my family, and for Grant and his own schedule.
That sounds so much fun though, because you're talking to me about this, and I'm thinking this is a team of superheroes, and each superhero has their own superpower and strength. So, in your team, like, what role do you play, Grant? Because you say that there's like the grip, and then the technicality, and then the explosive component. So, who's who?
Um, so as far as that, and just a shout out to Carrington Andrews, or who we call KK. She's our girl on the team, because each team is made up of 2 guys,
Mhm.
1 girl. So as far as recently what we've done, and I think the cool part of this new league is just how much strategy's in it. Because as athletes, we have to be diverse in our training and our strengths. So obviously our goal is we could take any part of the three and do well in it. The first 2 comps, we stuck with the same. I think the last one we're wishing we would have changed how he did it. But so far it's been me on speed, Daniel on the tech side of it or the technical section, and then KK on the grip part of the course. So the last comp, though, me and Daniel both, it kind of messed up in each of ours, and we were thinking about switching, but we didn't switch, and now we're kind of like, oh, I think we wish we would have done that, but it is what it is. We live and we learn. It's the first year of the league, so there's so much strategy with it and different things. We've so far kept KK on the grip side of it. She's one of the strongest athletes and one of the top girls in the world in the sport of ninja. So
Wow.
she was the second girl of the Team Ninja Association League to clear a burnout last weekend. So only two girls have cleared the whole grip section, and she was one of them this season so far. So we're currently in fifth. There's 24 elite stacked teams. The top 8 teams will make it to finals in New York City. So we're hoping we stay in the spot we're in. With the last comp, we probably will move down, but our goal is just to be in the top 8 teams to try to make it to the finals. We did really well in our first comp, so it's the reason we're in such a good position, even though the last one wasn't quite what we planned. But regardless, we all had a lot of fun, and I think the cool part is if you watch one of the comps, you just seeing the camaraderie and the encouragement, because me, Daniel, and KK, we're just encouraging each other and cheering each other on, but also getting to talk with each other, like, hey, how do we do this? How do we strategize this? And that it's so
That's
many fun aspects of the league that we all love, and we're hoping we make it to finals. But regardless, we had so much fun in our first two comps, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll be
and
back next year regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
where can we watch you? I know that they have an Instagram account. Do they live stream it?
They
What?
do. They currently live stream each of the competitions on YouTube. So you could go to YouTube and type in Team Ninja Association, and you can follow along. What's really cool about this particular league is that the whole entire competition is done from start to finish within, was it 2 hours, Grant? I think
Yeah,
like
about two
two
hours.
two and a half hours is done. Whereas most competitions, I think similar to rock climbing, it's like an all-day event. So you've got different waves, you've got different age brackets, you've got modifications for different groups, whether it's the beginner, the intermediate, or the advanced levels. And it's like this whole thing. So when you go online to watch the live stream, you've got dozens and dozens and dozens of athletes that you don't know, don't want to follow, and then you try to fast forward to find your own friends or the ones that you like to watch. And then that's it. Like you're scrubbing through like hours of content or sitting and watching hours of content, which is fine for those that love the sport. But this one's really cool because it's, obviously invitation only. It's only these teams. There's only 8 per qualifier within that 2 hour block. It's very, very fast paced. There's multiple rounds. Every single full race of all 3 disciplines are finished. The first round is like you have to do it all in 6 minutes. Then the second round, it's all in, what is it, 5 minutes, Grant? And then the third round, you have to do it all in 4 minutes. So the goal is that each round, if you stay on your position, you get faster and faster each attempt. So it's really exciting to watch. And now, unfortunately, Grant and I have the exact same skill set as athletes. I don't know, student master type of thing. We are both specialized speed athletes, almost like you could say the equivalent of a speed climber, but for ninja. But simultaneously, we both are very technical when it comes to the harder movements. So for he and I, the last 2 competitions, it was really like, okay, which one do you prefer? Because we could both tackle either of these courses and get a pretty similar outcome. Whether if it's on speed, we're usually 1 second apart, he and I, with him beating me 2 out of 3 times on speed courses. And then with technical obstacles or technical courses, he and I are very, very similar, but with me with a slight advantage of winning maybe every 2 out of 3 attempts on a course. So really, when we show up, we look at the course and we say, okay, which one do you think you could do faster, Grant? And he'll say, okay, well, I think this one. Which one do you think you could do faster? And then we'll even break it down obstacle by obstacle. How many swings do you think you would take before dismounting? How many steps do you think you would take before jumping? How quickly do you think you could get on and off each of the obstacles? Again, there is so much strategy that goes into particularly this new format, because even each round of the 3 possible runs we could be involved in, we could change up the positioning. So for round one, I could have Grant do speed, me do tech, and then KK do burnout. And then round two, we could say, hey, we're going to switch it up. I'm going to do speed. Grant's going to do tech. We'll keep KK burnout, and then maybe even switch it again. The cons or the risk is that, you know, you do get faster the more attempts you personally get. So if you stick to your lane, you can improve upon it. But then if you have a run and you're like, I didn't like it, I wasn't able to finish, I you could do better, then you switch. And so it's crazy to see the amount of strategy that goes into it, but really exciting to watch it. So we also have even a page on Instagram, on social media, for just our team. We are the True Chalk Challengers. So we have that people can follow. We're posting content about specifically our team and specifically the league and competitions, but really, really exciting to just, again, get to be involved as the sport is breaking away from solely television.
Mhm.
And for the first time in history, a professional sport coming from a television show, which is really, really exciting. Usually it's the other way around. You get a professional sport and then they make TV show spinoffs of kind of the, extreme versions of it. Well, this is the opposite of that and really cool.
That's so cool. I'm gonna take a look. I mean, of course, when I was researching, I looked at it. But after this conversation, I'm so hyped. I'm gonna sit down and like watch everything. My favorite thing of team sports and friendships and relationships is healthy camaraderie. Like when you have a friend that lifts you up, oh man, to me, like I we watch anime in my house, and my favorite type of anime is sports anime because
Haiku?
oh, Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basket, like all of those team sports. That's my jam. So I'm so happy for you guys because you're telling me all this and you look so excited and it's contagious. So I hope our listeners also jump into that bandwagon and watch it as well and follow you and follow as the discipline keeps growing. So now as we veer a little bit away from Ninja Warrior and rock climbing, because you guys, aside from being professional athletes, you also have your own hobbies. See, my Spanish here kicked in. And things that you like to do. Grant, you're an ice sculptor? Like, how?
Yeah, so as far as I work at the Ninja Gym Iron Sports and coach students and train, but when I'm not in the Ninja Gym, I'm doing ice sculptures. So um that I had a friend from church ask me if he was like, hey, you want a job? And I was like, What is it?" He goes, come check it out tomorrow. So I came, checked it out tomorrow, fell in love with it. And it's not all just carving ice or doing all that. We make these 300-pound blocks of ice in shops. So we have to, you know, fill these tanks and then watch them freeze up, pull the ice, and then we'll slab them. And there's just a whole process with making the ice and then turning it into a work of art. So that is definitely a very niche business, something I didn't never thought I'd be in, but praise the Lord, I'm in it. It's so much fun and so cool to take, when we do these sculptures and I get to go deliver them. I just did an ice sculpture delivery yesterday to see people so excited for the sculpture they ordered because we work with people. Be like, okay, what do you want? What do you envision? What do you see? And we'll send them drawings. Be like, hey, here's what we're kind of thinking, and then we'll carve the perfect sculpture and just see people so excited to be like, whoa, my 50th birthday sculpture is amazing. Whatever we do them for events in Houston. We do them all over Texas. We've gone all the way up to Dallas, but we'll do them for birthday parties, company parties, weddings, and it's just so cool to see people so excited for them. And yeah, I recently I've been working hard there, and we have a busy week. We actually have a big sculpture delivery for a big YouTube channel next week, so that's gonna be pretty big. And very late at night delivery. So we'll see how that goes. Not going to spoil it in case the YouTube channel doesn't want it out there yet because they have a big video coming with the ice we're doing. But we do a lot of jobs for Unspeakable, so that is the channel, but not going to say what the job is yet. So in case you want to keep that in, but yeah, it's been super cool, and I've been training a lot more than working there recently, but still pulling blocks of ice and made two logos yesterday that I'll be delivering this weekend. So it's a lot of fun and very cool. It's also a kind of a workout too, because these blocks and the ice weighs a lot. I'm not lifting the 300-pound blocks of ice, but I'm definitely lifting logos and stuff that are very heavy. So I feel like I've gotten stronger also since doing ice sculptures.
if you're listening still up to this point, you have to go to Grant's Instagram and look at his art because it's insane. He's so good. I looked at the first blog because you have a sequence of, I think this is what I've done this year or this month or whatever, you have something like
Oh,
that. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, let's take a look. But I was just thinking, a block of, I don't know what I was thinking. And then when I started scrolling, my face was like this, like going through it. You're very good. Very,
Thank you.
very
It
good.
is, I will say it is a team effort. So it's not all just me. There's a whole process. And, we've got
Well,
a couple of employees as well. I mean, we have several employees and two owners, and it is a team effort. So I can't take all 100% credit for what you all see on Instagram. We all work together, but it is a lot of fun and super cool. And we have a great team there who just loves spreading joy through the artwork that we are able to do as a business, all over the Houston area and Texas.
well, going back again to strengthen in a team. Good,
Yes.
healthy relationships.
Yeah.
See, that is the takeaway from this podcast. Surround yourself with people that lift you up, and you'll succeed in life. Yay! Super, 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 super quick. Daniel, talking about spreading joy and all these positive things. You released a book. I have it written, the kingdom. Oh, how to be a kingdom ninja.
Yeah, yeah. I'll speak briefly on it. I mean, it's funny. I was never the best or the brightest in school growing up, but I always loved to like journal, just jot down my thoughts. I mean, I've got, a gratitude journal to this day. Just I'll wake up and I'll jot things down that I'm grateful for, that I'm happy for. It literally changes my outlook or perspective on the day. I've got like a prayer request journal, things that are heavy on my heart, on my mind, and it's really cool to go back and see just answered prayers after so many years. And then I've got just like, I mean, I've got list of movies I've watched, of books that I've read, of thoughts that I have, and at one point, as I was, getting more popular on Ninja Warrior, a friend of mine, he said, Daniel, I read books to my like 5-year-old child every day. You should write a kid's book. And I had never once thought about becoming an author, thought about writing a book. But as soon as my friends said it, again, this is community and relationships. As soon
Mhm.
as they said it, my heart skipped a beat. And I thought, for the first time ever, I have to write a book. I don't know. I've never thought this before, but I have to get this content out of me and in front of others for their benefit. So my wife and I, we self-published a children's book initially called The Little Ninja. And just a fun-loving book about a kid that just basically sees the whole world as obstacles, right? And then a few years later, I had an opportunity from a publishing company. They said, "Hey, we love who you are. We love that you're an athlete. We love that you're a strong, outspoken Christian. We love who you are, what you do, and the holistic mindset that you have and live your life by. We would like to do a couple of high-quality books with you. One is like a biography about your life and Ninja Warrior and all that." They said, then the other one, we want to be a graphic novel. Imagine
Mm.
comic book for these kids that need to learn how to overcome obstacles, both the physical, the emotional, the mental obstacles, even the spiritual obstacles. And so in the last 2 years, we've come out with two amazing books that are just done so incredibly well. I could not be more proud of them. They've got some fitness, they've got some health and nutrition, they've got exercises, they've got my story so fans of the show can enjoy it. But then like the one you said, the How to Be a Kingdom Ninja, that one just came out in the last few months, and it is the comic book style book of my life. So really, really cool. Turned out so well. Couldn't be more proud of it. And you can get it anywhere that books are sold. Any of my books, whether that's on Amazon or at Barnes and Noble, anywhere books are sold, we've got them. And again, I never imagined that I would be an author of books. I thought I was just going to be an athlete my whole life. But I've been able to step into different avenues, different areas as an entrepreneur, as a speaker, as a coach, as an athlete myself, as an author. There's a lot of passions that I have, a lot of things that I do, and I give myself fully to them when I'm doing a project, working on something. That's the focus of my life. And you've got the whole 10,000 hours type of mindset. So I'm just little by little daily putting hours towards the things that I love. And over time, over years and years, I have now seen so many of those things grow and develop large enough to help fulfill my life and make an impact and a reach in other places. So super cool, really fun. You can get those books, whether it's the Little Ninja or Kingdom Ninja, Warrior's Guide to Physical, Mental, and Spiritual Health, or the newest one, How to Be a Kingdom Ninja, that graphic novel. So thanks for letting me plug that too.
Of course. Oh my, and the best thing of it all is that now you get to share that with your kids too, with your family. So that is love. It's like a full circle. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much to the both of you for joining us today. This was a lovely conversation. I'm motivated. I'm gonna go watch all of your American Ninja Warrior content and the Ninja. Wait, the names are so many names. Team Ninja Association video. I'm learning. I'm learning. We'll get there. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Clara. You do the same.
If you're listening to adventure stories, then you should visit thedihedral.com. You will find stories from other members of the community and read about climbing, life, and the outdoors. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's connect and climb on.
Climb on!